All right. Hey,
How
Tim.
about now? Can you hear me now? Perfect. Hey,
Yep,
how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and dive right in. We're going to be talking
Sure.
about investing, the importance of it, and you are a man that can talk all things investing. So, you're a curator, or creator, excuse me, entrepreneur, real estate developer. Talk to us about your journey to investing. Like, how did you get started? How did you tap into that?
Yeah, so I typically always tell the story. So as a member of Cap Alpha Psi, I actually had a younger Neo who's now my business partner, Rashay Bay. And whenever we would go to our conferences, he would speak about how he's investing in real estate. And I mean, I'm way older than him, so I'm thinking to myself, how's this young cat, already have 3 or 4 properties at such a young age? So it kind of triggered my interest as far as me looking into it, following people on social media who was doing it real heavy, and really just soaking up as much knowledge as possible until
Hmm.
the opportunity presented myself for me to be able to do it as well. So I bought my very first property December of last year, and from there just been going super hard. Now I have 23 units.
Wow. That's amazing. And you also have your more than a 9 to 5 business that
Yeah.
you started. So tell us about that movement and how that got started.
Yeah, so it actually just started with a crazy idea. I was just thinking, what's something that relates to the everyday person?
Mm,
And I really played off of LeBron's more than an athlete. So I was just thinking about people who ultimately are entrepreneurs outside of their everyday. How do we pretty much bridge the gap? And that's pretty much how more than a 9 to 5 was birthed. Because I know I'm an entrepreneur at heart, but I'm also in the IT and cyber field. So really wanted to bridge that gap and create a platform to showcase people who are excelling in their everyday 9 to 5, but also excelling in entrepreneurship as well. So that's
yes.
pretty much how it came about.
Yeah, I love that. So, like, kind of talk about those steps to, because I would say you're very successful. You have a lot going for yourself. Talk about those steps to success that you had to take, or maybe like even those sacrifices you had to make.
Yeah, I think anything to success pretty much comes with sacrifice, right? So um, attending the University of South Carolina, I graduated and moved to Milwaukee of all places. And I think that was the biggest sacrifice, right? So in order to kind of be where I'm at today, I had to kind of make that sacrifice and get out of what I know every day, which is Columbia, right? So I moved out there with knowing no one at all, pretty much excelled in my career, found my niche in cyber, which took me to federal government doing cyber, left my previous company, and now I'm working with my chapter brother's firm, pretty much overseeing all IT for his firm involving getting contracts with federal government agencies. So I really just feel like, honestly, if I didn't take that leap, as far as getting out of my comfort zone, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And on that journey of meeting different people, I truly feel as far as who your network is will allow you to kind of jump into spaces that you never imagined. So if it really wasn't for the frat, and if it wasn't for kind of getting out of my everyday life, I probably would not have any of what goes on today going on.
Yeah, I love how you speak on comfort zones because I think it's so important to leave them. Like we can't stay in them. In
Mhm.
order for us to grow, we have to do something we never done.
Right.
We have to tap into something completely different to get the completely different results. So I love how you speak on that. Um, so can you talk about those trial moments like that you have encountered, like when it comes to investing? So what were those moments like? Because I mean, we go into things, we don't know how
Mhm.
it's going to end up. Like you said, you take that leap, and we don't know what's on the other side of it. So talk about
Mhm.
those trial and error moments that you kind of went through, and how did you learn from those, and then apply them to your next strategy in investing.
Yeah. So I can just definitely say, like, what you see on Instagram as far as people portraying sort of real estate or investing to be super easy, like I can just tell you it's not. Like prime example, yesterday, I got a tenant refrigerator went out, right? So in a situation like that, like I have to act because it's on me to be able to provide appliances that the tenants need. So Really, honestly, it's an everyday sort of trial and error. I'm dealing with some townhouses that I have as far as getting those back because the previous owners just kind of let them go. And with me being who I am and caring about my tenants, I really kind of wanted to bring the neighborhood back to life. So been doing a lot of work there, investing a lot of money. But I just honestly say every day is trial and error. But I just honestly think I wouldn't be able to kind of do what I do if it wasn't for like my support system. So
Yeah.
my mom is actually, she's retired. So she's my property manager. So she's a lot more hands-on with the tennis, but so I can kind of do my day to day. But I just honestly say, like, whatever you see on Instagram as far as people portraying one thing, like, I really think it's a lot more than how easy it seems. So every day is trial and error.
Yeah. Shout out to the village. Okay, mom.
Yeah.
You had to put her on. I love that.
Right.
So as far as, you're successful and as far as, let me see how I should phrase this. Okay, you've been featured and seen in like on CNN, Afrotech, Black Enterprise. So what is it like to be able to get your message and your brand on a larger platform so you can, talk to other people who may not even, follow you and know who you are?
Well, honestly, I've never really been I'm more like a behind the scenes type of person. So I guess to be on platforms as such, it's kind of crazy in a moment of when I think about it, but I don't think I kind of like really get stuck on the media piece. But I guess the biggest thing is the message that you stated, right? It's kind of controlling our communities and our neighborhoods, right? Like, we constantly see gentrification, especially in Colombia, right? So my thing is giving people an opportunity who look like me, because those people may be looked past as far as somebody who doesn't look like us, right? So I've been in a situation to where I've been blessed, so I can now create an opportunity to bless others. So especially, downtown Columbia, which is a huge shift, huge transition of why not having somebody who looks like me and Rashay that's kind of controlling the narrative of what the neighborhood looks like.
Right.
And I think that's just really my biggest message is, we as a culture have been oppressed for so long. Like, now is the time to really buy back our blocks or buy back our neighborhoods and be a part of the change that we currently are seeing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like now, especially like with COVID and quarantine, we've been given all the time to tap into our creative sides, tap into ideas that we, may have wrote down months ago that we haven't even thought about.
Yep.
We're able to put the action behind the plan, and I love that you're doing it. You are active, and I'm learning so much from this, and I hope those are watching are as well. Talk to us why investing is so important from a financial standpoint, and then transitioning into a self-worth standpoint.
Yeah, no, I think it's very important, and I'm not saying you have to invest in real estate, but invest in something.
Right.
The goal is to create generational wealth. I saw an article, and I kind of speak to it in the articles. I forget what year, but I think by like 2045 or something like that, the average net worth for African Americans is $0, which is crazy.
Right.
So ultimately, if we don't make smart investments now, then that's ultimately what it's looking like it's going to be, right? So we have the opportunity now to, as I mentioned, invest in our neighborhoods, invest in the stock market, invest in Roth IRAs, mutual funds, etc. Right? The same amount of money that we put into, buying things that have no relevance or that are liabilities, are the same things we can put funds into assets that build generational wealth. And I mean, that's just ultimately my goal. I can't speak to everyone else, but my goal is to, when my time is up, I can have assets to pass down to someone in my family or my kids when I have kids, so that they don't have to worry and as we would say, get it out the mud, right?
Right.
But they have an opportunity to have college paid for. I feel like, I didn't have that opportunity for myself. So I want to be able to present that to my kids and my kids' kids. So I think honestly, that's just really the honest feedback that I can give is,
Yeah.
it's not really like when you investing in yourself and you investing in your future and you investing in your family. So that's just pretty much how I see it.
Yeah. Plain and simple. What about from the self-worth standpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. What can
No, go ahead.
No, I just think honestly the same thing,
Yeah.
self-worth, right? So if I'm investing in my future, I'm investing in myself. Um, as simple as that, right? And I think on the scale of me continuously saying it's bigger than me, right? I invest to be able to take care of the people around me. So to me, that's is bigger than myself.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So one thing I love that you're doing is you are, making resources available for other people to tap in and to learn more
Right.
about investing. So you have your ebooks, you have a one-on-one coaching. It's what is it? Which
Yeah,
one?
it's called Buy Back the Block, a
Buy
guide to
Back the
building
Block.
your real estate
So can you
portfolio.
talk about each of the ebooks kind of briefly and what, not giving away too much, but what
Yeah.
people expect if they tap into them?
Yeah, so the ebook just really came about because I had a lot of people just asking me how. So I just took everything that I learned, my journey, and just put it into an ebook and audio book. The coaching piece was just kind of really being able to kind of coach individuals who look like us and just give them, the game as far as my journey, and also answering any questions along their journey. And also a master class that I created, which just pretty much walks through the process, shows you, how to find properties, how to assess properties, and just how to pull the trigger and move from there. So I just really kind of took a lot of what I learned along the way and just made it sort of digital content. And that's another thing too, and not even about me, but for those who are on, I can't see it on my other screen because I moved my window, but any skills that anyone has on here, like put that into like digital content, because digital content is like honestly the future. I can walk away from digital content of it being there and not going anywhere, and it's going to continue to serve people. So anyone in here that's like holding in a skill, like please put it on paper, digitize it, and it's just going to create an opportunity for you to walk away from it and continue to serve other people who ultimately are looking for that same skill level.
Right, right. And we can find these ebooks in your Instagram bio, I believe. You have the link.
Everything more than a 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
Instagram, more than a 9 to 5.com. So yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So what are other ways to invest? Like I know you mentioned earlier, you don't even have to do real estate. Like what are other ways you can invest? Because I know like I follow someone on Instagram. Her name is I Am Lauren Lyrics, and she invested in the vending machine. And who would have thought a vending machine? Like they're everywhere. So what are other ways that we can invest?
I would just say honestly, the smartest things to do. Anyone that's working a corporate job or a 9 to 5, definitely max out your 401k to what the company matches. Like that's the biggest thing. If you don't, then you ultimately are losing money and leaving money on the table. So whatever your match is for your company, definitely leverage that. Because honestly, that helped me invest in the real estate. Also, a Roth IRA, which is post-tax dollars. You can contribute up to $6,000 a year. That also served as an opportunity for me to invest in real estate. But anything that you contribute yourself outside of your gains, you can pull that money at any time. So with that being said, when I bought my first house, I paid for it in cash because I was able to leverage streams of income that I started at an early age. So in the stock market, I recently invested in the split for Tesla and Apple. So just kind of staying in tune with, different just investment tools, investment strategies. I have friends who do Forex, all type of different things. So I would just say whatever works best for you, investment wise, definitely leverage and take advantage of.
Could you tell us a little bit, just a little bit, because I know we're running on time. about Forex? Because I hear a lot of people say like it's not legit, it's not, some people are kind of like, is it a scam? I ain't trying to, like, can you just like talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, so I can't really speak to it because I personally don't invest in Forex.
Okay.
But one of my guys who was like one of my closest friends, he invests in Forex, and I actually kind of seen him make capital gains from Forex. So I will definitely say I can't speak for what people portray on like social media, but from seeing it from him, he definitely is making money off of his investments, and I'll just kind of drop him. So he's dropping a link called My Forex Bootcamp. So anybody that's interested in Forex, definitely check that out. He'll be able to give you the game. I personally don't know. I haven't invested in Forex, but I have invested in the stock market. So definitely check him out if you are interested in Forex.
Okay, well, let's get into the stock market. Since you talked about it, yeah, give like a let us know about what the stock market is.
Yeah. So for the stock market, I guess I don't have a tremendous amount of knowledge as far as stock market. My biggest niche is real estate, but I've taken sort of my real estate gains and invested into the stock market. So anybody who follows Tesla and Apple, they just had a split for their price to where they cut it in half. But that split is going to eventually get back to where it was previously before. So I took advantage of the split at the time of it. And I also invested in it from my Roth IRA. So you can invest your Roth IRA into the stock market as well. So now I'm seeing gains from that. So I guess another big thing too is Airbnb just went public, which is huge because a lot of people, I think their evaluation is like $100 billion. So I can just honestly say that's probably my next move. I'm not a super stock market guru, but I just definitely kind of keep my ear to what's popular and what I know is going to make money in the future. So, yeah.
Yes. So you come a long way in your investing journey. And I want to talk about taking the leap into investing in yourself and passion. So what were those thoughts like in preparing to take that leap? Like I said earlier, we don't know what's on the other side of us taking this leap of faith. What were your thoughts and expectations before, and how you compare those to where you are now?
Oh man, I was scared. I think just like anybody, right? Because we're ultimately trained to go to school, get a good education, go get a job, work 40, 50 years of your life, retire, live off Social Security and your 401k. And I'm like, that's all I've known. My parents were military. And although, my parents have owned the houses that we lived in, it never was kind of handed down of like, here's the blueprint of how to invest in real estate. So I had to figure it out on my own. And I think when the opportunity presented itself, I mean, I was super scared because I didn't know, it was out of my comfort zone. It was nothing that I've never ever known. Anyone in my network or immediate family hasn't done it. So, I mean, I was honestly scared, but once I pulled the trigger and I started seeing gains from my investment, it was pretty much over from there. Once I kind of picked up the strategy of how to do it and leverage additional like smart financing, it just pretty much took off from there. So I just encourage anybody who's kind of on the fence or looking to make an investment, like definitely do your research first for sure, make smart investments, and like really just don't be scared. And the naysayers who may try to talk you out of it, you kind of got to tune that out and have tunnel vision as far as what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Love it. So what are your next steps as far as investing in general? Like, what do your next steps look like?
So me and Rashay are actually doing a full renovation downtown Columbia, South Carolina now, which I think is like huge. So once I finish that, I'm going to jump to some other properties in my portfolio. And from there, honestly, we just actually acquired a lot that's off Rosewood right by the stadium. So we're going to do new construction build there. And also the project that we're working on now, that's a full renovation, is 1.2 acres. So we're going to do new construction builds there. But the biggest goal for me, honestly, which I will put a timestamp on within the next year, I ultimately will say that I will acquire an apartment building or an apartment complex.
All
So
right.
that's the biggest thing that I'm kind of learning and soaking up now.
I love it. We love to see it. You are goals, Tim. Like you just got it together. I love it.
Appreciate
Okay,
it.
last thing.
Mhm.
We have 1 minute. Give us a second. Advice to those who are, like you said, on the fence, who maybe want to do it. This could be their confirmation to do it because they tapped into this webinar. What is your last piece of advice for those who are interested?
Yeah. So I actually dropped a T-shirt that says "Just start the business, bro. Just start the business." Yes, and I think honestly, as simple as that, like really just pull the trigger because I look back at more than a 9 to 5 of a simple ideal that I just randomly came up with, and I kind of like put it by my closest friends as far as like getting their thoughts and their perspective of what it meant to them and if I should honestly go through with it. And once like my closest friends and my network start giving me the thumbs up, I just jumped at it. And a year later, honestly, like the day before I hit my 1 year was when the CNN article came out. And I mean, honestly, in my wildest imagination, right? Like I always say I'm just like a cat from South Carolina. So
Mm-hmm.
to be like CNN and Black Enterprise and having more than a 9 to 5, tagged in those articles is like super crazy to me. But if I didn't take the leap of faith of jumping out and doing that, it wouldn't have happened, right? As far as the real estate piece, if I didn't just, take the leap of faith as far as going under contract with my first deal, like I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So really, I honestly encourage anybody, like if you have a passion for something, like don't let anyone talk you out of your passion. Like continue to chase that passion, and like don't stop till you feel like you're successful. For myself, I feel like yeah, I've made success and I'm blessed, but I got to go harder every day. So that's the
Yeah.
feedback I would give.
I love it. Thank you, Tim, for sitting with me to talk. I learned so much. I hope everyone who's tapped in right now learned a lot. Bryant, we will give it back to you.